Welcome to Decentralized News. If you're interested in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, DeFi, and the macro news that affects it, welcome in. We post to YouTube first, so please subscribe if you'd like to catch the videos as soon as they drop. If there are any questions for our team or topics you would like to see this year going forward, please comment on our videos. The goal is to be open and available to our listeners while providing unfiltered content that can help create genuine conversations to help the entire space grow. Your input is always appreciated, and thank you for listening. As always, we have a lot of ground to cover. So let's give a brief disclaimer before we get going. This is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. A broad range of topics and opinions will be given freely today, so please do your own research. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Peter DeVries. We also have Ozzy. How you doing, Ozzy? Good morning.
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to record today. It's gonna be a good show. Lots and lots of news.
Adamus, good morning. How are things in the UK, my friend?
Lovely and cold and wet and miserable, but loving it. Happy New Year, by the way, guys.
Happy New Year. I hope we get a little sunshine tomorrow and the sun peeks
Yeah, I'll
its
get
head
like
out.
5 minutes.
Nice. Blessed. Also, we have a special guest today. I'd like to welcome Smackaroony, a good old friend who went off to school for a little while. Sorry if I'm saying too much, but welcome, Smackaroony.
Hi. Yeah, very old mushroom person. Hi there. Yep, I'm here for goofs and laughs and a little bit of cryptos.
Nice. We're excited to have you here. Let's
Me
get right in.
too.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's get right into it. Today is January 5th, 14 AB. So 14 years ago, it's after Bitcoin, by the way. Years ago on this day, Satoshi Nakamoto launched the main Bitcoin network by mining a Genesis block for 50 BTC. So happy Genesis block day. This was actually a day or two ago. But anyway,
Yeah, think if Satoshi had never done this 14 years ago, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We probably would have never met. A big thank you to Satoshi Nakamoto.
yeah, it's truly a Genesis. It started the whole blockchain revolution. And yeah, it definitely brought all of us together.
Yeah, at the same time, we've also had another first. Bitcoin, for the first time ever, has closed 4 quarterly candles in the red. So that's never happened. 4 quarterly candles in 1 year in the red is a first. So there's still firsts for everything in Bitcoin. So we just experienced one 4 days ago, 5 days ago now. So it's
Yeah,
interesting.
this bear market is officially no other. We also had our first engulfing yearly candle in the red, where the red was larger than the green and it engulfs.
Yeah.
So
This
that's
is
a
it. We're
Bitcoin
still
influence.
very early, even though it's been 14 years. That is nothing compared to any sort of financial markets. Also, as much as this is a bad thing, this is also a good thing because it shows there's volatility and there's movement. It's sustainable, isn't it? Because if it was just green all the time and predictable and like clockwork, then it wouldn't really be real and it'd be more like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I almost hope that the next bull run doesn't run too high and that the volatility starts to.
Things should start leveling out and more or less follow sort of traditional markets. Hopefully not. Hopefully it'll be keep a bit more of the volatility and keep it exciting and fun that's brought us all here. But I think things will flatten out.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for 100,000 in 2025. I still think that's a reasonable prediction. Definitely still see volatility in the markets. It's it's kind of like trading penny stocks right now. That's what crypto is. And yeah, it's pretty exciting. And
Are you active in the market, Smacker?
No, I'm very
Um,
passive. I'm just taking a little step back, a huge step back from any plays and just doing a little bit of work with some projects and communities. And that's my main source of not fiat income. So I'm more of a, how do you say it? Like a waiting lion, waiting for prey.
Ready to
I'm
pounce.
just ready to pounce anytime. But now is not the time for me personally because I'm a very safe player and because I don't feel confident enough in my knowledge and my skills to do any plays right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a very fragile, sensitive market. So I feel that, yeah, hard
I
to play it. And,
I wouldn't be doing DeFi plays right now. Like I feel okay buying Bitcoin right now because
and even that feels like waiting isn't the worst thing in the world too. Yeah, but I
no,
always BCAing, I feel like, with Bitcoin.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's all I do right now is I just hold some positions, chill, and do my college studies and
Yeah,
yeah.
the one play that seems intriguing to me, it's a little off of our topics, but just with the Ethereum, the next upgrade, the next update coming, as far as DeFi, there's some excitement around that this year. Kind of looking forward to seeing how that plays out.
Yeah. To me, Ethereum and Bitcoin are like the safest plays and like plays that I feel all right taking. Like Bitcoin could go down another, I'd say $6,000, like give or take. So we're sitting around 17, 10K, like sure. But in the grand
Seems
scheme
tough.
of if you believe in 2025 that Bitcoin will be 100K, that difference isn't massive. And so if you're playing the long game on a couple of these assets, then I think you're all right. Ethereum being the other one. Ethereum, some people say it's not going to break the lows. Some people say it will. So interested to see what that does. But we've a lot of stories to cover today.
Yeah,
So
let's get into Bitcoin a little bit. The top 10 crypto miners currently have 4 billion in liabilities, which means they're selling Bitcoin to pay these off pretty constantly. And then there was like another story, like 97% of all Bitcoin mining is just getting sold by these mining companies.
yeah, it's all being sold. Almost 100% of it's being sold right now, which is pretty nuts. But it makes sense. Like we were in the bear market, they have to cover their electricity costs, and some of these miners were bought during the bull market where the price of miners was that much higher. Like
Price of miners is higher, Bitcoin's higher, and also the price of energy has gone up too, just with the influence of the war and everything, the inflation.
exactly. So it, there's still some pressure on the Bitcoin chart just because these miners have to cover their liabilities and cover their energy bills, and that's something to keep an eye on as things move forward. So quite interesting.
And there's also been some effects with the hash rate going down. One of the things attributed to it was bad weather, like a real big spat of bad weather that affected Canada and the United States.
Yeah, it caused a
Yeah.
huge drop in hash rate.
And this is the beginning of winter. So there's still a bit of time left where bad weather could affect
Yeah.
Bitcoin and Bitcoin hash rate.
Yeah, that's one of the things where like proof of work is like a mild detriment just because if bad weather starts shutting down large parts of the country or large parts of the world, then it could negatively impact the hash rate. It does also show the influence and centralization. Yeah, FTX is the next big story. That's been plaguing the market. It's been around for a while.
Yeah, there's been some big updates. He entered his plea and entered a plea of not guilty of all charges. And the trial is set for October 2nd, 2023, which is pretty far off. I was a little surprised by that. Almost a little annoyed. I'm going to have to listen to this story for the next
Yeah,
month.
definitely. I thought it'd be a lot sooner, to be honest with you, just how quick it moved on everything. And I was really expecting it to be before summer, but obviously we got a long time to go. Well, for Halloween, we can all dress up as him. Maybe that's why they've done it.
That would be really
It
funny.
smells fresh. Yeah.
That is probably going to be happening this year. Yeah.
Greeni's definitely going to dress up as SBF.
Or, yeah, maybe she can get away with, was the CEO of Alameda's name? I forget.
Oh,
Caroline.
Caroline.
She apologized for defrauding FTX customers, and that she
Oh, that's okay then.
admitted that
Oh,
she's
fine. That's no
responsible.
problem. She apologized.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. You go back to it, love. Go back to Starbucks.
Yeah, she apologized as she pled guilty for 7 counts earlier in December. But The other things that have been going on with FTX are kind of some revelations about Sam Bankman-Fried and how he was operating things under FTX. So Sam Bankman-Fried borrowed from Alameda to buy his Robinhood shares, which are now worth $448 million.
Yeah, I
And
saw that. Yeah.
FTX asked that those assets be protected against and not be used within the liability case, their bankruptcy case. So weird things, especially considering that Sam Bankman-Fried met with White House aides on crypto policy right before FTX collapsed, and then allegedly just before the end of the new year cashed out almost $700,000 worth of cryptocurrency to an exchange in the Seychelles.
Didn't he like right after he got out of jail? Wasn't there some accusations that he may have been selling?
Yeah, and then the Bahamas
Yeah.
have seized most of his a bunch of his, like the $3.5 billion worth of assets that were still within FTX. So the Bahama regulator has come out with that statement as well. So it's lots of crazy stories going on.
That's a pretty big chunk, 3.5 billion.
It will help with their $8 billion in liabilities, that's for sure. The other kind of big story that's somewhat related to that is DCG, the Digital Capital Group, which owns Genesis.
Yeah, and the Grayscale fund, they're associated with that. That's what's scaring everybody, is at 600,000 BTC. And they owe Gemini Earn 900 million, or Gemini in total, 1.5 billion. And the Tyler Winklevoss sent out an open letter talking about how things are not going well and trying to put a date on negotiations. And then the Genesis CEO asked for more time as they're getting pressured. But what's scaring everybody is just that 632,000 BTC that's sitting there, and the fact that they're in such financial straits right now.
Yeah, it's trading at a 45% discount at the time of recording.
Yeah, no one wants to buy that.
It's too much of a risk. And it's like the discount is getting steeper and steeper.
It's only gone that way, which is,
If that's not a worrying sign, I don't know what is.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have this open letter, just give us our money. You know what I mean? Like, it's looking rough over there. It's a little scary.
Yeah, it's not good, especially as the SEC starts heightening scrutiny of auditors' crypto work. The SEC has really come down and said that they're concerned that people are getting false reassurance from these crypto audits and that people shouldn't trust them. And this is all in a fallout of FTX and everything that's going on. These kind of reports were not really a thing before.
Yeah. Did you see that right away? SEC called the FTT token a security. Like, they came out and said, this is security.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last show. Do you not remember that? Yeah.
And that affecting Binance potentially.
Yeah, it could affect Binance, Crowcoin, and a few others. KCS, which is Ucoin token. And
do you guys not think this has to happen to help with adoption in a way that this is a stepping stone to a gateway into regulation, which will then hopefully mean more people can be trusting into crypto and use it more?
People want to see regulation, but it can be a little scary what regulators can do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a stepping stone, that's for sure. And it's starting to create that line. We talked last week about how an SEC commissioner thought the Howey test didn't exactly work for crypto. And so this might start figuring out the gray areas of what's crypto is a commodity and what crypto is a security. And so that's going to be I think it's a pretty big line to figure out as we move into regulation. And so determining that FTT was a security is a big step, I'd say. And it honestly could pave the way more than the XRP case does whenever that gets settled.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch this year how this plays out. We have new Congress in the United States, especially out here, seeing how they go about this. Increased activity from the SEC, the big case, like both what you mentioned, XRP, which has been lingering forever. It seems like they have to say something on this already. And then the trial with Sam Bankman-Fried and the regulation that comes from that, and just all the commotion about centralized exchanges.
Yeah, Nick Carter, who's an expert kind of on expert, quote unquote, on proof of reserves. He's a partner at Castle and Island Ventures and Coinmetrics.io. They did an analysis of the proof of reserves for different exchanges, and so that's been the biggest story in the last little while. And OKX even unveiled their second proof of reserves report and is looking at doing monthly publications. So big fallouts from this year, I'd say.
Yeah, increased scrutiny on these centralized exchanges. I know CZ was saying in a Twitter space, like, it's complicated to custody your own crypto, kind of to say not to do it. And then this story came out about a Bitcoin developer messing up in that regards. Did you guys see that? Bitcoin developer Luke Dashir reported that his private key was compromised, which led to a theft of more than 200 BTC, $3.5 million.
Yeah, it's quite crazy. So
Mad how someone that high up and that knowledgeable that can happen to him, isn't it?
yeah,
It's scary, really.
yeah, that's it. It's pretty scary, but you'll have to protect yourself and take necessary steps. But self-custody is
an important skill to learn how to do. You can't, even the smartest here, you have to take your time and do it right. It's just a reminder to take it seriously, I think.
Yeah. Moving on, we're also seeing some kind of promising for crypto in terms of Argentina. One of their presidential candidates is very bullish and was preaching about Bitcoin during many of his speeches. They're set to elect their new president in October of 2023. Javier Gerardo Milei. He's currently a federal deputy, and he's libertarian and he's pushing the Bitcoin agenda. So
yeah, he's getting 25% in the polls. And when I was reading about it, this was before like one of his biggest competitors had to drop out because she was getting arrested for fraud or something like that. So he seems to have a legitimate chance. And Argentina has a real use case just because of the crazy inflation they have over there.
yeah, this follows with more regulation, with islands passing a law legally recognizing DAOs and allowing legal entities to register formally as DAOs with the DAO governance tools.
Anonymous DAOs or
And they're the first country to
how
do
would that
this.
work?
It's unclear.
Would it have to have one person or how? Yeah, that'd be quite interesting to see how actually work that out, really. Because the DAO is meant to be centralized and then they're trying to almost centralize it. It's very strange.
So it allows it to incorporate through a internationally legally recognized LLC structure.
That'll help money laundering massively.
It'll allow for for-profit DAOs and not-for-profit DAOs. It'll recognize their governance, voting procedures, frameworks, and tokenization. And it provides some definitions for DAO formation and agreements and the use of smart contracts.
And most islands, they have some experience with this sort of with shipping. I think a lot of international shipping, they register there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They're trying to attract that kind of business, and it would make sense. It's a cool move, and it's like a move to start allowing these structures to be recognized and registering them properly. So it
gives them just like a space to potentially grow and to explore what's possible.
Yeah, and
like,
it's kind of someone claims
again, it's all helps with regulation, isn't it? It all helps towards what we were saying a couple of minutes ago about any adoption and stuff. So helping it become mainstream. So it's cool. It's going to be interesting to see how they work it.
Yeah.
Well, also and out there in the ocean, Fiji's new prime minister is pro Bitcoin as well, considering introducing a bill to accept BTC as legal tender in the country. It's a small country, but still exciting to hear stories like this.
Yeah, and it'd be the second one after El Salvador really to recognize it as legal tender. So that's pretty incredible. After that, apparently my internet's still a little bit slow, but The UK is also making a play into the crypto space to try to make themselves a crypto hub. They're going to be implementing a crypto tax break for foreigners that use UK brokers for crypto. That's pretty big considering news out of Italy that said they were going to impose a 26% capital gains tax on cryptocurrency. So
We might get some more people from Italy moving over here then.
yeah, I mean, it follows India, who has a 50% tax on
Jeez.
crypto, and other nation states that kind of have been a little bit harsher or stronger taxes on cryptocurrencies. So that's a big move from the UK. Turkey is making a different kind of move, though. They're starting to use a blockchain-based digital identity for online public services.
That's cool.
Like, really, we're seeing like real life use case for blockchain. It makes a lot of sense. Not paper-based identities can be forged or lost or destroyed. So moving to these digital-based identities could be a really good way to start making use of NFTs and other stuff that are on the blockchain. So that's super interesting to me.
Yeah, no, this seems like one of the dreams, the possibilities when blockchain was invented, the use of a distributed ledger, putting identification on it.
And it's only took 14 years, which is really quick for some kind of technology like that to become government issue almost. So it's a quick turnaround if you think about it, from the initial Genesis block to where we are now. We've come a long way, baby.
Absolutely. We've come a very long way. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how it continues to evolve. Russia banned payments via mobile applications such as Telegram in their most recent move. It's very interesting to see how each of the spaces and each country is taking things differently.
Actually, I read this article that you have here. It doesn't say that it bans payments per se. It's disallowing banks and brokers to message their clients through like messengers like Telegram, etc.
Huh.
And
Interesting. So two different stories then. I was reading a different story that was saying that, but if it's the messenger sources foreign, so they're trying to bring all of those kind of messenger apps, create a Russian equivalent, essentially.
it's weird that it says Telegram and other foreign app. Telegram was a Russian messenger, as far as I know. Maybe someone bought it, or maybe the CEO of Telegram fled from Russia,
Huh.
and I didn't know about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They have become very crypto friendly as well recently. That's one to have a look into, actually.
Yeah. At the same time, Japan is now easing their rules on foreign issued stablecoins. So their financial services agency has lifted their ban on the use of overseas stablecoins. So primarily USDT, USDC being the main ones to think about. And also, they do still set a limit of a transfer of $7,500 US. So there's still some limits, but Japan is opening up the door to not only foreign issued stablecoins, but just cryptocurrency as a whole. So that's pretty.
Yeah, it's always good to see money flowing around easier in the space. It can never be a bad thing. It seems.
No, it really can't. And then Coinbase, this is probably the one kind of a little bit more of a downer news, but it's reached a $100 million settlement with the SEC, paying a fine of $50 million for letting customers open accounts without sufficient verification. And then they're being required to spend an additional $50 million to improve compliance.
This is how they buy fines. They've done that a lot with other securities and things like that. So maybe that's one pathway the SEC moves forward. It's almost like a sign of adoption to see news like this to me. Oh, pay your fine, move on. Pay your fine, improve your compliance, and moving on. So think it's a good sign in general.
Yeah. We'll see. Coinbase's stock is at an all-time low. So
Sure.
hopefully, maybe it starts turning around soon. It's bad news story after bad news story for them, but
It's still in it and still one of the bigger exchanges trying to be,
That's
compliant.
fairly compliant with regulation over there as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not financial advice, but yeah, I'd be jumping into it.
They're a leader in that space and at least trying to.
Yeah, exactly. They're playing ball with everyone.
yeah, and the fine is about like an issue that happened in 2020. So we're in 2023 now, so 3 years ago.
Which is like 50,000 years in crypto.
Exactly. So
Millennia.
they probably have already addressed a huge portion of what was being flagged in the first place.
Exactly.
Speaking of the SEC and what they're trying to get into, they filed a limited objection to Binance's. They're trying to buy Voyager assets for $1 billion, expressing concerns of just this is a big transaction. Like, where is this money coming from? How can you prove?
Yeah.
How can you show that you have the money for this?
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see. Other adoption kind of news is Fidelity is filing trademarks for an NFT marketplace, crypto trading services, all in the metaverse. They manage a fund of $9.6 billion. That's more than the market. That's 3 times the total market cap of crypto at the top of the bull market. So that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I was reading this story and one of the trademarks was for for metaverse marketplaces for buying cryptocurrencies. So they're really looking in the future and going into VR and going into the metaverse, having a marketplace to be able to exchange crypto. It's just interesting seeing their vision of the future, what it might look like and what they're trying to set up for.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this one. There was also, just related to Binance a little bit, ANC Pharmacy, one of the largest pharmacy chains in the Ukraine that partnered with Binance, will accept crypto payments in over 1,000 locations. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Using crypto to buy, because like right across the street at the gas station here, there's a Bitcoin ATM and you see a lot of these, but it's confusing, I think, for retail investors. It's like, what is this thing? Well, it's not really an ATM. I'm not pulling money out of it. It's really a way to buy Bitcoin, pay a huge fee, but you can put cash in the machine and buy Bitcoin. But it's not like going to the gas station and buying gas with Bitcoin, that kind of adoption, which it's just clearer, makes more sense to see ANC, a large pharmacy, accepting crypto payments. That's an exciting story to me.
Yeah, and they're really helping. It's starting in Kiev, of all places, which has been attacked and bombarded pretty seriously by Russia, really trying to bring it to where it's most needed. So it's pretty impressive. At the same time, HeatBit is a space heater brought to you by Craftsman that mines.
Yeah, how does that work? So like it uses energy to create heat.
But
I don't know.
It basically, because mining Bitcoin, like computers generate heat. At the end of this podcast, my office will probably be about 4 or 5 degrees warmer than it was because I get the door closed because my computer's running.
Nice.
So basically if they're mining Bitcoin, they can help capture that heat and use it as a space heater. It's not terrible.
You're physically running a miner. The heat. Okay.
That's
a good
kind of
point.
both. I think it's not one or the other. Like they do both because mining generates heat. It's a great combo.
Yeah, interesting. I guess I wasn't picturing the miner. I don't know. I had trouble getting my head around that one. Thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah.
We didn't throw this one in there, but Starbucks also launched on Polygon Network and they're in the beta test, and you have to complete like these journeys and do all these steps to get your NFT. And they have 2 journeys open, one that's going to opens today. So I gotta go check it out. But I was able to complete one journey and earn my first NFT, and it's tradable. It's a really small market, but the floor price was like couple $100. It's a
Can you buy coffee with it or something?
so you can earn. I was looking into it and it was hard to find, but apparently no. The way you
And
earn
then
it
the
is like
utility of it?
no, you use your loyalty card, like your regular rewards card, but now it's connected to the blockchain. It's connected to the Polygon blockchain. I can earn by buying coffee. I can earn teas.
That's
And
correct.
it's like, yeah.
Okay.
So I earned like the first
NFT.
one, and this one's the thing that it gets is a one of 4,000, one of 5,000. It's all just one NFT. You can turn it in by the end of the year for 125 points in the system. I don't have my head totally around it, but yeah, the way I'm imagining is the more points I earn, it'll give me access to potentially different NFTs. You can earn NFTs, but they'll also release ones that you can buy, and people in higher reward structures or higher tiers will have access to buy them. That's how I'm imagining it. So
But
we'll
they
see
should
with
add
you.
a new like type of coffee that you can order if you have a higher type of NFT.
Yeah, or like you can order a bit of coffee. It's
I
like a
thought they'd start to you'd have to pay for your coffees in crypto.
no, that's not how it's working. But it's interesting because the loyalty program in a lot of ways is like a cryptocurrency because it's like this separate system.
Yeah.
You just put fiat into it and then you just operate in that ecosystem. You spend on Starbucks, you earn your rewards in Starbucks stars. So it's really already like a blockchain in a way, or like a cryptocurrency, like an altcoin or something like that, like a little ecosystem. So it'll be interesting to see a big company like this kind of evolves it, see how it plays out. But it's exciting to get the first NFT.
Yeah.
Are you going to keep hold of it for
Oh.
when it properly launches?
Diamond hands, bro. Let's
Yeah.
go. First one, especially the first one, but
Definitely.
we'll see. Yeah, I want to hang on to it and see.
It may do a similar thing to Reddit. I don't think it'll do it quite as well as Reddit with their NFTs, but because
A lot of people don't even know about it. I don't see a lot of tweets about it or anything. And it's a big company.
yeah.
So we'll see. But I'm hanging on to it for sure.
Last little bit of kind of adoption news. Final Fantasy, big gaming franchise, says that they're investing aggressively in blockchain games, and that blockchain game development is going to be a huge part of their future. GameFi and blockchain games are becoming more and more. So that's another big story and another spot where NFTs can become a really big part of it.
Yeah, one of my favorite games was Final Fantasy. I wasted a lot of time growing up playing Final Fantasy.
Which one?
Oh gosh. I think I started on like number 3. It was still pretty pixely, the first one I played. And then I probably played through 6 or 7 or something like that. Not quite sure. It's been a few years
Nice.
like that. But yeah, I
How
played
old are you again?
gosh,
He's
45.
old.
Yes. That was a rhetorical question. Anyway,
Oh,
I'm
God.
sorry. I think I'm so mean. I hate myself.
No,
I bully him too. But I guess the last little thing is people are starting to get paid in regular, there's some NFL
Not
players.
celebrities.
Yeah, there's some celebrities that are getting paid in Bitcoin or whatever.
Yeah.
But Justin Sun, who owns Huobi Exchange, is canceling all year-end bonuses and laying off half his staff, but also telling them that they are now going to be paid in USDT or USDC.
it wasn't there like a line like, and if they don't like it, they can leave or something.
Basically, yeah. If they don't want to accept it, they might be dismissed. They might be fired. So
Yeah,
that's
adoption.
That's adoption. It's very interesting. Like, it's a very forceful adoption. So I'm interested to see how that works. But it's a big move to start seeing people paid.
There's a very small percentage that are at risk of being fired. People involved with that company are probably okay with it.
Yeah,
I would think.
some employees apparently protested the move, but it's pegged to the US dollar. So unless they're depegging, I don't see a huge issue, or if there's like a huge fee to off ramp it. That's the only other thing that I can think of. Because as we've talked about before, there's not an easy way right now to spend crypto Although the story from Binance Pay and the Ukrainian pharmacies is a big first and a step in that direction.
Or like trying to finagle a way where you can do it for less fees without having to bridge it and off ramp it or whatever. Finding a way to buy gift cards or Amazon cards or something where you're.
Do you guys ever use the Coinbase card? Can you get it in the States?
Was it a credit card or something?
It's Face, and I think it uses XRP. Among other ones, you can load it up with XRP, and it basically you do a card payment, and it'll pay for it
Coinbase
using the
is
XRP. It just
available.
automatically exchanges it, and even gives you, well, it used to anyway, gives you like a certain percentage back as well.
Yeah,
Which
Coinbase
was-
is available in every state. It's not available.
Yeah, I doubt it's in every state, but it was something that I used it a couple of times, but I don't really use Coinbase or have any funds on. I only used it a couple of times. I was like, oh, that's quite cool. But it was because of how much converting it wasn't worth it. It's much cheaper to convert, say, $100 worth of XRP into your chosen money and spend it on a card that way rather than doing it there and then. A bit like back in a good few years ago, if you went to a different country and you had a credit card or even a debit card and you wanted to spend sterling and say buy euros or whatever, the exchange rate you'd absolutely get rinsed on because that's where they were making the money. Whereas it always was better off going and getting your euros ahead of time and getting £1,000 worth of euros, and because you get a better deal on it and whatnot, and there's less commissions and all this sort of thing. So it's a similar way, but eventually in another sort of 10, 15 years, no, probably less, 5 years, you'll be able to do a Coinbase thing where you just pay and it just automatically uses your chosen. So at a certain
Coinbase
decent
doesn't
rate.
really have a reputation for being the cheapest in fees and more. But yeah, I'm not really able to use it. So out here,
I haven't used Coinbase. I was a Binance guy, and now I'm not much of a. I don't use centralized exchanges much unless I have to. That being said, we've had a slew of hack stories. BitKeep had $8 million worth of assets stolen. Defrost has had a significant number of funds stolen. APT has hacked basically a ton of NFTs were stolen through AP, which is a North Korean group.
there
A
was
whole
BT mining pool got hit for 3 million. Bored 8 NFTs worth millions of dollars stolen from OpenSea. A bunch of
theft. On top of that, a private database of Twitter users' data was stolen and includes the information like emails and phone numbers of tons of users, including
400 million.
400 million. Includes Kevin O'Leary, Vitalik Buterin,
Can you check the list?
Alex Ortez. Yeah, I wonder if we
Oh,
can. SpaceX, Donald Trump Jr. is on there, Neil deGrasse Tyson,
400 million.
That's
That's
tech tips, tons of
pretty
people.
pretty decent percentage.
Yeah,
Right? How many Twitter users are there?
I would have to check my other slide, but because I have that on a slide for pitch deck that I'm working on, actually.
That's a pretty big chunk.
It's a big chunk. I don't know where you can find it, but
You can probably just Google search it. How many
yeah,
Twitter users?
exactly. And then moving into some other news.
That's all.
That's not exactly all of them. There's one last really big one that
Well, I mean, it's all it's around 400 million users.
Yeah.
Twitter currently has, this is a Bing search, 300 and currently has 400 million users.
So basically all of their user base. That's nuts.
Jeez. Okay, so I might be included.
You probably include it. FBI is investigating 3Commas data breach. So 3Commas is API bot trading platform, and over 100,000 API keys, which were connected to exchanges for crypto trading, were attacked, and leading to a loss of funds by a ton of people. They were running basically pump and dumps. They used these API keys that they got access to basically pump up coins that they were already holding and then sold them on all these people, and ran away with millions of dollars, and kept doing this on multiple accounts. And so now the FBI is investigating this data breach. So
again, these guys will be traceable, won't it? Because the people that cashed out, be able to trace them that sort of way. But as well, weren't they thinking it was these as well of 3Commas?
That
was the story I heard.
original. That was the original thought. And 3Commas dodged the question for several weeks before CZ finally came out and accused them last week. It's been pretty intense. And another kind of worry and careful thing if you're using trading bots to make sure you're protecting your API keys and making sure they don't have the withdraw function enabled and maybe are only limited to allowing to trade certain cryptocurrencies. You don't fall victim to a pump and dump.
I looked on 3Commas website a while ago and saw TJ guy from Deadpool. He was doing like the video tutorials and what it is to be using 3Commas and all this. And I was like, that's me out. This guy's not taking it seriously or anything like. It was just a proper joke and terrible.
It's just not the kind of innovation genius.
Yeah, it was just like, why have you got this guy to do this? I get you trying to be funny and they're trying to just talk rubbish about a fellow competitor, and I was just like, no, I'm not even going to watch these videos. That says it all. It's not serious, this. So it was no surprise when it comes out that could be someone who works there that sent the keys out.
Yeah, and then I guess we should probably move. We're already at almost the hour mark. We should probably
can talk about Solana and then.
Yeah, just hop onto Solana. Solana has been in the news a lot. A lot of people across the crypto space saying Solana's dead. And then crypto exchange Deribit said it'll cease offering Solana inverse products as of December 30th, 2022. So that was a big move from Deribit. That's the first one in the last little while. And then at the same time, the news came out about BONK, which is a crypto dog coin, meme coin that came out on Solana and was airdropped to a whole bunch of major NFT communities and really caused a major jump in the price over the kind of 3 days since it's been out. So Solana had been trading at $10 and is now up trading around $13 or $14 at the high. So
definitely reinvigorated the community, it seems like. It was just, is Solana dead? Is Solana dead? Is Solana dead? And then BONK coin. Airdrop. Boom. Meme coin. Big jump in Solana. Yeah, it was interesting to watch.
Absolutely. Last little pieces of news before we close out for the day. But Do Kwon, remember him? Guy who really kicked off this bear market. He cashed out another 9.6 BTC while hiding in Serbia from the Luna Guard Foundation. Yeah.
So if they know that he's in Serbia, why don't they just catch him? No?
Because probably Korea, who's like the main country going after him, probably doesn't have an extradition deal with Serbia. And so they can't get him. So
That's me.
Yeah, so he cashed out 9.64 Bitcoin to the Binance wallet and took it into cash, where everyone's assuming. So, yeah.
What is he gonna do with it?
Who knows? She's in hiding, so this is...
Pay rent on his safe house.
They're like, yeah. You don't need that much money, though, to live in hiding.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like you can go out and have a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Money.
Maybe he's paying for plastic surgery and he's going to change his face so he can go out.
Okay, that makes sense.
There was this like meme with him. It was like they showed his face when the advertising for Terra Luna when it was first kicking off and how young and fresh he looked. And they showed his face now, and it reminded me of that other picture with. It's like a historic picture. It's like a young man going into like World War I or World War II. And 4 years later, he looks like he aged 25 years, 40 years. He just looked like a different person. Like he aged over the last few years.
Yeah.
Crypto moves fast.
On top of that, Tether froze $3 million worth of USDT on the Tron network. So about a week ago. So that's interesting. People still, like, crypto's decentralized, but people can still freeze your. And then last but not least, Mango Markets, which has come up on the show a few times because they had funds stuck on FTX and then decided to shut down. They've charged a man with commodities fraud for the attempt to steal $110 million in user funds from Mango Markets. So last little story there.
Just to finish off on a positive note, maybe, I don't know, but before we outro out, Macaroni, what are you looking forward to in DeFi and cryptocurrency this year? Anything in particular?
No way. Okay, we have a thing going on. I think, actually, and you were talking about the dog coin, the BONK. Very unfortunately, do you know Bonk's the YouTuber? He's a crypto YouTuber, and recently someone gifted him like a token it was like a New Year's gift. And they didn't know that there was a BONK dog coin, and they called it BONK. Unfortunately, they had to change the really cool name. I really liked it a lot. But yeah, now it's on
They
the.
get a lot of sales.
Oh, yeah. It flew straight to heaven. It was like 500% up at some point. Bonk's token now. Yeah. It's supposed to be the taxes from selling and buying the token will go directly to support Bonk's animal sanctuary, which is really cool. And we're just brainstorming ideas on how to continue developing that token, maybe do something fun with it, maybe do like a membership kind of thing. And it's just fun to see a community come together to support someone who's trying their best to help animals and just doing it for nothing, basically.
Where
So,
can
yeah.
where can people find out more information about it?
In the BONK server, he actually made it public recently. So I think you can find him on YouTube. And yeah, in
Like to
any
or through there?
it is. Yeah, you can go show him some love. He does very good videos and a lot of streams. I got to be on 2 of his streams actually recently.
Awesome.
And yeah, so yeah,
Cool.
he's a great guy.
That's a nice shout out. Yeah. Ubox has a lot of fans base. He does a lot of good work.
I'll drop a link to his Discord in the comments in the description of the video once we post it. So
That's so sweet of you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Smackaroonie. Really appreciate having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Adamus, Ozzy, you guys have any shout outs you want to do before we
No, I'm good.
I'm good. I just want to shout out kind of everyone that's been listening and tuning in to our other shows, and I hope people keep listening. Thank you.
Yeah, sad.
All right. Thank you for listening to Decentralized News. Please consider liking and subscribing to see the videos as soon as they drop, and stay tuned for our next episode. Have a great day, everybody.